Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. In this video we're going to be going over more of a casual, easy to get stam DK that can deal out a lot of damage. I have been having a lot of fun with this build. I've ran it through Vet Ice Reach and Vet Unhallowed Grave and just in general, and I've had a lot of fun with it. So, stats: 16.7k max health, 31.3k max stam, stam recovery at 1.2k, my weapon damage is at 3.2, and my weapon critical is at 57.7. Now, I have 7 points in health and 57 into stamina. I am a Khajiit, so my racial passive bonuses will play a factor into how you distribute your points, but you do want to shoot for around 16.5k HP, and stamina will vary depending on the traits of your jewelry. So, the food I'm running is dubious, and the boon I'm running is the shadow right now, because our crit is at 57, it affords us the ability to run the shadow. If your crit was below 50, you would want to look at maybe running like just a warrior or a thief, one of those two. Unless when you were fully buffed it goes up over 50, then you can run the shadow as well. But because our crit is sitting at a nice 57 all the time, we're running the shadow. So, champion points. We have 51 into Warlord, 18 into Sprinter, 19 into Bashing Focus, 43 into Tenacity, 64 into Mooncalf, 31 into Shadow Ward, 44 into Tumbling, none here, 35 into Physical Weapon Expert, 40 into Master at Arms, 51 Thermometer, 56 Precise Strike, 24 Piercing, 64 Mighty, 40 Ironclad, 29 Spell Shield, 30 Medium Armor Focus, 64 Hardy, 64 Elemental Defender, 43 Quick Recovery. Now starting out, in the red tree, you're going to want to focus on Hardy and Elemental Defender at first. And then in this tree with a Stam Decay, you're going to want to focus on Mighty and Thermometer. And then, because starting out, your crit probably won't be really high enough to really worry about Precise Strike. But as you get up, M3 will be your main ones. As you hit 160 and start to get your gear, those three will be the three you focus on the most. And in the green, Tenacity, Mooncalf is your main two. So, sets. The first 5-piece set we're running is Scavenging Demise. Now what this set does is it gives us weapon damage, weapon crit, and when you deal critical poison damage to an enemy, you summon the Scavenging Maw, which attacks your enemy after 2 seconds. The Scavenging Maw deals 8.8k poison damage and inflicts minor vulnerability for 15 seconds, increasing their damage taken by 8%. This effect can occur once every 10 seconds. So it's basically 15 seconds up. So it can happen every 10 seconds. So there's really no downtime. We have 57% crit. So we have a lot of poison abilities, especially dots. So this should be going off constantly. We're running a Nirnhund Hand with Dagger and an Infused Axe with Absorb Stamina Chat. Now, I wasn't really going to include this, but because of the fact that Maelstrom weapons are now dropping in normal Maelstrom, and it doesn't take much to run through Maelstrom Arena, I figured I would go ahead and just include this as well. You do kind of want infused with a weapon damage enchant. I got all my stam characters a bow, and I was just transmuting the trait, but when I heard there was going to be perfected weapons, I kind of stopped transmuting. Thought I'd save my stones for the perfected versions. So, but you do want it infused on the back end if you can get one. Or if you care to have one. If you'd rather have a little more defense, by all means keep it defending. And what this is going to do is it's going to increase the damage volley deals by 430 each tick. The bonus increases by 143 every time volley ticks, up to a maximum of 8 times. So basically, Endless Hell, Arrow Barrage, whichever morph you're using, it's going to deal a lot more damage. Now, the monster set that we're running, I don't know why. The monster set we're running is Selene. We're running a Heavy Head Divines with max stamina and Shoulders with max stamina. Now you do want Divines if you can get it. I have an Invigorating Shoulder. It doesn't hurt that much, but if Divines, if you really want to push it. What this is going to do is it's going to give a maximum stamina, and when you deal melee damage, you have 15% chance to call on Primal Spirit that mauls the closest enemy in front of you after 1.3 seconds for 16.6k physical damage. That can occur once every 4 seconds. So this is going to go off quite a bit. It's going to go off a lot. Quite frankly, I really like to see that bear there. If you don't have Selene's, the monster set from Frankel Grotto 1, Crags, is a really good set to have as well. That's another one. So Celine's Crags would be the two that I would recommend right now. If you can get through and get Veldreth, by all means you can run that one as well. But out of my three, I would either pick Celine's, Crags, or Veldreth. Now, the second 5-piece set that we are running is a new set from West Greymoor. You do need Greymoor to go farm it, but you can also buy it from the guild trader. So, it's called Venomous Smite. We're running it all on the bodies, all divines, all enchanted with max stamina. Now what this set does is gives us weapon crit, weapon damage, and dealing critical damage inflicts 100 venom on your enemy for 10 seconds, dealing 2.8k poison damage to your target and nearby enemies every 1 second. This effect can occur once every 15 seconds. It's a 10-second uptime, a 5-second downtime. We're going to be dealing we have a lot of dots that can crit, so we will deal a lot of crit damage. So, and then jewelry, we're running 3 pieces of Scavenging Demise, all robust weapon damage. Of course, if you want to transmute the jewelry, Bloodthirsty would be better. Maybe 1 infused, 2 Bloodthirsty. It's up to you on that. Now, Venomous Smite would probably be the easier set to get for weapons and jewelry. Scavenging Demise comes from Depths of Maltar, and if you want to, you can farm that on normal, get your body pieces, and Venomous Smite can be on the weapons and jewelry. When it comes to cost, I have seen weapons from Venomous Smite range from anywhere between 90 gold to 50,000. I mean, I bought an axe for 1,000, and I bought a dagger for 90 gold. So, I've bought my purple jewelry all for anywhere between 3k to 9k a piece. So, right now, just look around. Don't take the first thing you see. Write it down or whatever, but you can go around and look, and you can definitely find Venomous Smite for cheap. I mean, I've seen a lot of when it first dropped, I saw the body pieces for 20 to 30, 40, 50k, and then later that night, they were 7 to 8k, if not lower. And I think I got the pants for 1,000 gold as well. So you just have to look around and see what you can find. If you need help farming Scavenging Demise, I am always happy to help. Or if you just need help in general, I play on the PS4 NA server. You can always hit me up, and I'm more than happy to help. So, now, if you're in a group with a Necromancer running Colossus, Scavenging Demise is not going to be the set you're going to want to use. The 5-piece set is the same as Colossus. Now, if they're not running Colossus, by all means, you can still run this. But I really don't know what Necromancer wouldn't be. So, if you want to stick to the poison theme, Morag is a good set to run. Gives you weapon damage, max weapon damage, and when you deal direct damage, you cause the enemy to take 10% more damage from all poison damage abilities for 5 seconds. Viper, it comes from Fungal Grotto 1. This is a set you have to get through. It comes in one of the cities in PvP. I want to say, I can't remember off the top of my head. I want to say Burma, but I definitely could be wrong on that. But you can get it from the guild trader as well. Viper comes from Fungal 1. It gives you weapon crit, max weapon crit, and when you deal damage with a melee attack, you deal an additional 8k poison damage over 4 seconds. That can occur once every 4 seconds. And there is Widowmaker here. This comes from Cradle of Shadows. It deals weapon crit, max stam. When your alchemy poison fires, you drop a poisonous spore in front of you that bursts after 1 second, dealing 9.6k poison damage to all enemies within 5 meters. And if you're like me, you probably got a lot of just poisons, especially these crown lethal poisons just lying around. So, they will proc it. So, skills. First one is Stone Giant. Crush the earth beneath you, dealing 8.7k physical damage to all enemies within 6 meters of you. Debris ripped from the ground is held around you for 12 seconds. Activating ability again allows you to launch part of the debris at the enemy, dealing 8.7k physical damage up to 3 times. Final cast stuns for 3 seconds. Each hit applies daggers, increasing damage taken by 65 per stack for 6 seconds. Now, if you want to, you can spam this. I don't. I tend to use it every two casts. My main spammable is Venomous Claw because it's the cheapest. What this does is it racks the enemy with your calls, dealing 4.3k poison damage and an additional 15.5k poison damage over 14 seconds. Poison seeps in the target and deals increased damage the longer it lasts, dealing 20% more damage every 2 seconds. Enemies hit by the initial hit are afflicted with a poisonous status effect. Noxious Breath. Exhale Corrosive Blast enemies in front of you, dealing 6.7k poison damage and an additional 12k poison damage over 14 seconds. Also afflicts the enemy with Major Fracture, reducing their physical resistance by 5.2. Barb Trap. Set a sharpened blade trap at your location, which takes 1.5 seconds to armor and lasts for 1 minute. When triggered, the trap deals 4.3k physical damage and an additional 15.9k physical damage over 18 seconds and grants you minor force, increasing your crit damage done by 10% for the duration. Increasing your critical damage by 10% for the duration. Enemies who activate the trap are immobilized for 2 seconds. Now this is kind of a flex spot. I have it on my bar, not for the first, but for the second. While slot, you gain Major Savagery, increasing your weapon critical rating by 2.1k. You also gain Minor Berserk for 5 seconds after you deal critical damage from an enemy's flank, increasing your damage done by 8%. And we have Flawless Dawnbreaker. Arm yourself with Meridia's Sacred Sword and Dispenser Retribution, dealing 10.9k physical damage to enemies in front of you, and additional 13.2k physical damage over 6 seconds. After activating, your weapon damage is increased by 300 for 20 seconds. Now, we're always going to be behind the enemy and deal poison damage. We're always going to crit. So, we're always going to be getting Camouflage Thunder. That's kind of why I have it here, so it gives me Minor Berserk all the time. So, but if you have a healer in your group running Combat Prayer, you know, you're going to be getting Minor Berserk regardless. So you could definitely put Vigor on your bar in that case. You know, it's up to you. But if you see what Scavenging Demise and Venomous Strike look like, there's Noxious Breath. No crit. Let's see. Ah, there we go. And then Scavenging Demise come out. This is a big area of effect, and you'll see the dots there just going. And as it goes, so there's Scavenging Demise again. There's Venomous Smite. So it's going to stay pretty constant. So, back bar. We're running Poison Injection. Shoot an arrow coated in Mandara poison at an enemy, dealing 3.8k poison damage and additional 7.7k poison damage over 10 seconds. Deals up to 100% more damage to enemies under 50% health. Arrow Barrage. Launch a multitude of arrows into the sky to rain down, dealing 1.6k physical damage to enemies in the target area every 1 second for 8 seconds, after a 2-second delay. Vigor. We're using Igneous Weapon as well. Charge you and your grouped allies' weapons with volcanic power to gain Major Brutality and Sorcery, increasing your weapon and spell damage by 20% for 54 seconds. Basically, this still allows us to use Trash Pots instead of Weapon Powered Pots. Because we get Major Savagery from Camouflage Hunter, and then that will give us Major Brutality. So, then of course we have Camouflage Hunter because we want to keep this Major Savagery active at all times. And of course the Minor Berserk. And the last ultimate, Standar Might. Call down a Battle Standar, dealing 3.8k flame damage every 1 second for 20 seconds to enemies and apply Major Defile to them, reducing their healing received and health recovered by 30%. Standing in the area increases your damage done and reduces your damage taken by 15%. An ally near the Standar can activate the Shackle Energy, dealing 9.1k flame damage to enemies in the area and mobilizing them for 5 seconds. So, for the most part, you're going to buff up. And then, with the rotation, do just that. Make sure your light attack, poison, rearming trap, noxious breath, venomous claw, stone fist, venomous claw, stone fist, and then rotate and just repeat. And that's pretty much it. So, I'm going to upload me in a dungeon with this, because I've taken this through Vet Ice Reach, Vet Unhallowed Grave, Vet Falkreath. It has been a really fun setup to use. I've actually quite enjoyed it. So, I really hope y'all enjoy it too. If you would like to see more casual kind of builds, just like and subscribe for future uploads. So, until then, take care.